The fate of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics is in limbo, and not a lot has been revealed about that unscheduled IOC executive board meeting this evening. But some reports from Japan suggest that the IOC has already informed Prime Minister Shinzo Abe that the Olympics will not happen this summer, and that the administration there is just putting off the announcement. Japanese officials, including PM Abe, are adamant that the Olympics will proceed as planned. For more on the general sentiment from Japan on the hosting of the Olympics and how much the cost would be should there be any changes to the game, we're now joined by Professor Sayuri Shirai from Tokyo. She is a professor of economics at Keio University and a former Bank of Japan board member. Professor Shirai, thanks for joining us on the line.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I just want to start things off by saying that Kyodo News have already reported that 70% of the Japanese public do not expect the Olympics this summer. And as someone who lives in that host city, give us a sense of what the general sentiment is like there.
Yes, so since some people already mentioned that postponement is a feasible option, and then Mr. Trump also suggested that, I think public is gradually started to accept that postponement is the option. So, but still, a lot of people are wondering what will happen to athletes. So it's a very mixed feeling in Japan.
I understand it can only be a mixed feeling for a lot of the athletes there. What do if the Tokyo, that's a big if though, if the Tokyo 2020 cannot be hosted in July as previously planned, are we talking about numbers in terms of the losses that Japan may have to face?
So Japanese economy is already suffering from the consumption tax hike, which took place October last year. So we already have had a very large negative economic growth for the October, December last year. So originally we thought that the economy would start to pick up in January, March, but now that's not happening. So the Japan will experience another negative economic growth for this January, March. And if this Olympic program will continue, so we are not able to hold the Olympics this year, and also global economy continue to slow down, and most likely that Japan will have a negative economic growth for whole year 2020. So economic damage is very serious.
Do we have a ballpark figure as to how much of an economic loss we may be faced with? Because SMBC Nikko Securities have already suggested that around $75 billion of losses would be made. What do you say to that?
I see. That's a bit difficult to tell because it really depends on how soon this containment of COVID-19 will take place. So it's a bit difficult to tell. So, but the damage is that for the tourism and the services sector. So last year, Japanese economy was more or less offset by this, quite active service sector activity and tourism activities, and now manufacturing and servicing sectors all are doing very poorly. So it's very difficult to give the estimate, but I think it all depends on what will happen to Olympics and the global economies.
And if we may stretch that just a little bit, the Bank of Japan's announcement yesterday to boost its economic stimulus perhaps taken, do you consider that as have taken the Olympic factor into consideration?
I see. Governor Kuroda tries to avoid saying that they are considering Olympic impact. At this moment, they are emphasizing that these monetary easing measures was taken because of this COVID-19 outbreak and its spread impact. But they are providing a lot of support until end of September. But the Bank of Japan said even though this whole COVID-19 can be contained in a relatively short period, but companies may continue to get a lot of pressures and funding cost pressures. So Bank of Japan wants to make sure that they can provide support for that. So by saying that, he's not really focusing about whether the Olympic Games will be canceled or postponed. So it's very sensitive. So they are trying to avoid that kind of admitting that kind of issues.
Okay, Professor Shirai from Tokyo, thanks so much for your insight today.
Thank you.